Hey everyone. As late as it may be, this is my 2021 financial goal video. In past years, my financial goals have always been about either saving money or paying off debt. But this year is much different than any year before, so I do have to have very different goals. You see, this year, and actually since October of last year, I'm not working. I'm actually collecting unemployment while I'm working to get my life together and to get the business off the ground. So I can't really save anything because I've always saved $1 per hour worked and I'm not working any hours. I also don't have additional income because I can get by on my unemployment, but I can't do a lot extra with it. So that money is just going to living expenses, and I don't have any extra to put away into savings. And on the other side of that, I don't have any extra to put toward debt. But thankfully, since I was able to get so much extra money at that job I worked last year, I don't have that much debt left. I only have about $2,000 on one credit card, and everything else is student loans. So while I can't put any money toward debt this year in my goals, there's also not a whole lot left to pay off either. So that being said, what are my goals? Well, the goals this year might not be so obvious that they are financial goals. So I'm going to have to explain as I go how this relates to finances, but I will definitely try to make you guys understand why I still think of these as financial goals. The first, which is probably the most obviously financial out of all of this, is the business. Since October 9th, I've been home, and since December 18th, I have been working full-time on YouTube. Now, in actual practice, it has not worked out like that, but I have intended to be full-time on YouTube. I've just had a lot of crazy stuff pop up in my life. But the goal is to work full-time on YouTube, and the result of that be that I either make this a business that I can completely sustain myself on, or at the very least, if at some point in the future I do have to go back to a job, I will have built up the business quite a bit so that I am having a pretty sizable income coming in every month that will help supplement whatever job I get. And then I'll, of course, continue to just work on it on the side until I can do this full-time permanently. And the second goal is my relationship. And I know you guys are like, what? That's not financial. But it is in a way. So, as you guys know, about this time last year, my girlfriend and I were looking at moving in together, eventually decided to buy a house together, which would have become my first rental property, and I would have had money coming in that way. And then a whole lot of stuff happened over the last year where we stopped doing that and then started again, and we are planning on moving in together again at some point this year, probably more toward August. And when that happens, that is going to be a financial goal because that's going to cut my rent in half. And I've never had anybody that I could split rent with. Now, my rent is, at this point, because I moved back to West Virginia, only $500 a month. But if I cut that down to $250, that's a huge savings. Rent has always been and still is my biggest expense every month. And if I can cut my biggest expense in half just by living with the person that I want to live with anyway, then that's an amazing change. Now, I don't want to make it sound like I'm fixing my relationships just so I can save money, but this is just a positive that's going to come out of that. And the next thing is my storage unit. So I've talked a lot about this recently, and I'm in the process of filming a video that's going to show all the progress that I've made on my storage unit. Now, I pay $65 a month for my storage unit, and I would love to get rid of it. I have had it for a long time, and unfortunately have just never had the time to go through it. I need to sell some things off, throw some things away, organize, give away, just all the stuff that I've got to do with it. But I just have worked all the time for so many years that the only option was just to keep paying monthly for it because I could just never deal with the stuff that was in it. And while I'm not working, that's part of what I'm doing. Is I am, well, for one thing, putting shelving in there and getting everything up off the floor. But once that happens, taking box by box, sorting through, selling, throwing away. So I will have money that I get from selling, but eventually, hopefully, I will be able to downsize to a smaller unit or maybe even get rid of it altogether, depending on how much stuff I can get rid of. So that'll save me $65 a month. And speaking of $65 a month storage units, that leads me to goal number 3. Goal number 3 is mom's storage unit. So a couple years back, my mom also got a storage unit. She sold her house and moved everything into it. And none of it has been sorted through. I had been box by box taking it to her nursing home and sorting through it in the same way. Making an inventory, seeing if she wants to keep it, throw it away, or sell it. And I started doing that, and then of course the coronavirus pandemic hit. Since she's in a nursing home, I haven't been able to visit her all of this year, and I think I could only see her 2 or 3 times last year. So we haven't been able to work on that. But the eventual goal is to get rid of that storage unit altogether. So that's another $65 per month. And then the money that comes from selling those items, I'm actually going to be forming a FBO trust, meaning that it's a account that is in my name, but for benefit of her, where all of the money that comes from those items is going to go for her use. That's just kind of the agreement that we have. Legally, her name is on the lease for the unit, but I actually did get a judge to grant me legal possession of the items in the storage unit. So technically they are mine, but they were hers, so all of the money is going to be going to her. She just is not able to handle money because if it's in her name, the nursing home takes it to pay for her stay there. So doing it this way, she actually gets to keep that money for her items. So since this storage unit is $65 and my storage unit is $65, I do have the potential, after a lot of time and hard work of moving around stuff and selling and throwing away, of reducing an expense of $130 a month. So between my rent and saving on that because of my relationship, and my storage unit getting cleaned up, and therefore me feeling like I sort of have my life together, and then eventually saving money on that, and same with my mom's storage unit, well, I will be able to reduce quite a bit of expenses in the range of maybe about $500 per month just in this year if I can get this done. And of course with the business, I will be able to start making more money as well. So it's going to get better on both ends. And my final goal, even though this one really is not financial, but I want to include it in here because it is an important part of what I'm doing while I'm back here in my hometown, and that is just to visit my mom. She turns 72 here in a few days. Who knows how long I have left with her, so I wasn't able to see her almost at all last year because of the pandemic, and I don't think they're still letting visitors in, but hopefully they will soon. So again, while it's not a financial goal, that is something that I'm really planning on doing a lot more this year, because I'm not super great about visiting or even calling because I get so busy with everything, and part of me being down here was easier access to her. So hopefully I can also work on building that relationship and, fixing some things there and getting my life back together in that way too, of having a better relationship with my parent. So all in all, for 2021, the goals are not financial in the way that they always have been because of my situation. They're more goals of getting my life together and doing that while I'm home, while I'm around the things that help me get my life together. Parents, they're here. Storage units, both of them, they're here. Girlfriend is here. So really, all of this comes down to, well, I'm in this area to save money, but all of this stuff is also here. All of the stuff that I never have time to work on because I work all the time. So I'm gonna take this opportunity to do this and to get my life fixed up. And at the very end of this, which I'm thinking is probably gonna be August or September of this year, where I will maybe have to get a job and go back to normal life, I really just hope that while I don't know if I will complete technically any of these, I hope that I've made huge progress in all of them, because even that will take a lot of stress off of me and just really make me feel like I have accomplished a tremendous amount of progress, even if I don't get to the point of actually yet saving money in any of these categories. I will be so much closer to actually saving that money. So any of you that are watching this, if you are making videos as well and made one about your 2021 goals, go ahead and link it below, and encourage everybody that is watching this to go down and look in the comments and see those links and watch those videos as well. I'm just interested in seeing what you guys have planned this year. Obviously, it's a weird year after what we just went through last year, and now you know, it's like, it seems like we're going to be able to do something later in the year with the vaccine rollout, but it's not here yet. So I will come back to you guys in July with a 6-month update video, and then in January 2022, then we will do a review of the entire year. Thank you guys for watching. Please be patient sticking with me while I'm working on all of this, because I'm just trying to balance the channel and everything else I'm working on. But I think that you should see a lot of progress happen this year, and I will see you guys in the update video.